That's a whole lot of dork.
Have you ever played a Mega Man game? I would hope that the answer is yes. If not, go ahead and play Mega Man 2 right now. First released back on the NES, the Mega Man series grew to be a fan favourite for the system, and with the release of the Super Nintendo, Capcom decided to add a new entry into the series with Mega Man X. Much like its predecessor, Mega Man X had multiple games, some of them being brilliant, some of them being okay, and the later ones not being particularly well favoured, though I do hold a soft spot for them. With the release of the PSP, Capcom decided to not add another entry into the series, but instead go back to the original two games, Mega Man and Mega Man X, and so they decided to remaster them. Today, we're going to look at Mega Man Maverick Hunter X, and see whether Capcom did a good enough job at updating one of their most beloved games. Released in 2005, Maverick Hunter X features all the gameplay of the original, but with updated 3D graphics, a remixed musical score, and some secret unlockables that aren't so secret if you read the back of the box. As this is an update to the original game, the story for the most part is the same, albeit with a few slight changes. The year is 21XX, and humans live in peace with robots, now called Reploids. However, some of them start malfunctioning and get classed as Maverick. To combat these Mavericks, the Maverick Hunter Task Force is set up, led by Sigma. Not long after, Sigma goes Maverick himself, and it's up to X, along with his fellow teammate Zero, to put a stop to his world-conquering plans. When Capcom made the first Mega Man X game, they upgraded his moveset a little. You still have the ability to run and jump, but now X has the ability to cling to walls, allowing for wall jumping. You also can charge up your Buster, and in the future, with upgrades, allow it to charge up even more. With 13 stages to get through, it follows classic Mega Man structure. Choose one of 8 Robot Masters, or Mavericks, to go kill, get through their stage, destroy them at the end, obtain their weapon, and then use that on the next one. What sets this apart from the original Mega Man series is the ability to upgrade X. There's heart tanks scattered throughout the stages which increase X's maximum life. There's sub-tanks which act much like E-tanks in the original game to refill his health, but most importantly there's armor parts. Armor parts upgrade X's capabilities even further. There's 4 of them to collect and they're all hidden throughout the stages. Some of them you need others to collect as well. There's the leg parts which allow X to dash or slide like he would do in the original Mega Man games. There's the body parts which allow him to take half the amount of damage. There's the head parts which allow you to jump up and break bricks with your head, very helpful. And there's also the arm parts which allow you to charge up your shots, but also charge up bosses' weapons. In the original Mega Man X title, the very first one you should get is the leg parts. You can't miss it, it's on Chill Penguin's stage. However, in this game, they've slightly been rearranged, and so if you went to that stage first expecting to get it, good luck, it's not there anymore. You have to go to Flame Maverick instead. The other major difference between this and the original game is the fact that you can get all of them without even completing the levels. You have the ability to escape a level even without completing it, which you couldn't do before. So it does mean you can go get all 4 armor parts and quite a lot of heart tanks and sub-tanks before you've even killed one boss. Considering at the start of the game there's a choice of 2 difficult levels, regardless this does make the game a little bit easier, but I am pretty grateful for it. On the original game I used to struggle quite a lot, and once I got down the boss patterns it wasn't so much of an issue. However, in this game, it does mean you can breeze through it quite easily. Once you've managed to collect all the upgrades, including the heart tanks, sub-tanks and armor parts, you can also find the 5th secret one. That's available on Armored Armadillo's stage, and to get it, you have to play through it only once this time instead of 5. However, you do have to take no damage whatsoever and make that awkward jump at the end. By getting there, you do unlock the Hadouken, a ridiculously awesome move that everyone should know, and it pretty much one-shots everything in the game. Like all Mega Man games, there's a specific order you should really tackle the Mavericks in. By doing that, it means you can abuse their weaknesses, but there's a difference in this game as well. Taking out certain Mavericks before others changes the next one's level. For example, you take out Chill Penguin, and the flames in Flame Man's stage disappear. This means you can get some of the items without dying, like the heart tank that's underneath the flames. This is a pretty awesome feature, as it does mean that some of the levels then become a tad bit easier, but it all depends on which order you go in. Once you've defeated all 8 Mavericks, it's time to go through Sigma's palace and take on Sigma himself. The levels themselves are a tad easy, and the level layout has been changed slightly, due to it just being updated. Once you've made your way to the final level, it's time to take on Sigma himself. Well, not before you take out his little pet. I do remember Sigma being a challenge, but then again, I always get all of the items, so one Hadouken to the face is all you ever need to take out his first form. Saying that, his second form is a little bit harder to line up the shot, and so just using the rolling shield, he easily goes down. With Sigma defeated, it's then game over and time for the end credits. However, you do unlock some cool features this way. The first notable one is that you unlock a 30-minute anime episode called The Day of Sigma. This OVA details the story of how Sigma went Maverick and throws a few other little bits into the mix. The whole idea of Maverick Hunter X was that Capcom were going to reboot the franchise. However, due to poor sales, this never happened, and so most of this isn't really a retcon. The second feature you unlock is Vile Mode. Vile is one of the characters that you meet right at the start and right near the end of the game, and has a complete, utter hatred for X. You get to play as him and use 3 different weapons: his shoulder cannon, his leg weapons, and also his main buster. He is a bit more challenging, you don't have the ability to dash, and he does seem to start with a lot less health. It is quite fun to play through even with the heightened difficulty, and it's nice to see it from Vile's point of view. However, that added bit of difficulty does make it slightly irritating in places. Without that dash, your mobile options do make you quite limited in battle, and apart from the title screen change, that's a lot. There is a demo of Mega Man Powered Up, Capcom's remaster of the original game that's always unlocked from the title screen. However, that's a video for another day. So how does this compare to the original? Graphically, it is nice to see updated 3D character models, and also the fact that everything does look a little bit more polished. However, I'm a massive fan of sprite art, so to me, the original is always going to win that category. In the music department, while the remixes are quite nice, again, I do like my chiptunes, and that Super NES sound is never going to be beaten. So again, the music does sound a little bit better to me on the Super Nintendo original. Thankfully, gameplay-wise, it's pretty much the same. Again, as I said, I do find it slightly easier, and so I do actually enjoy this a little bit more than the original game. But with one difference being the fact that you can save and not use any passwords, it is quite annoying. I mean, it's quite fun just to load up a random password and start with maybe 8 heart tanks but no sub-tanks or armor parts, or just get to the very end of the game without any of that stuff and try and take out Sigma with just your buster. Saying that though, with how easy it is to save rather than trying to input a 4x4 password on the screen and remember it or write it down, I mean you can just take a photo these days with your phone, it does make it a little bit more user friendly. Add in the fact there's Vile Mode to play through once completed, and also the cutscenes to watch through again. There is a lot of extra work that Capcom have done here. All the cutscenes are actually voiced, and so is the anime, and it's not as grating as some of the other games in the series. Probably my biggest disappointment is the fact that there's still slowdown in this game, one thing that wasn't fixed from the original. You would think with newer hardware they'd be able to fix something like this, and on some of the stages it is quite troublesome. My only other complaint would be the fact that this is on PSP and not on anything else. I mean, yes, you can play it on a PS Vita, and I haven't actually tried to see if it plays on my PS TV, but the fact that it is still only on PSP really, and only on handheld consoles, it's a shame that they haven't ported this to, say, the PS2 like they did with the Mega Man X collection, or even onto PS3. I mean, I did play the whole game on my TV using a composite cable, but at the same time, that only makes the size of the screen about 2/3 the actual size it should be. Overall, I think it's a great game. I mean, Mega Man X already was. It's just a shame that it didn't sell too well. It did review favourably. If it had met Capcom's expectations, maybe we would have got an X2 and an X3 in the future with updated graphics, so I'm just slightly disappointed we never got them. It does make a nice change considering that a few things are swapped around, and does make it a little bit more enjoyable that way because it's not the same Mega Man game that I played through hundreds of times. But for now, with the review done, I'm going to focus on playing Mega Man Powered Up, and try and plough my way through that one.